Hey guys, how are we doing? And welcome back to Lee Slot Cars for the first build on my new layout. Really excited. I've been looking forward to doing this one because I love building pit garages. So I've given away what I'm going to build. I'm going to build a pit garage. So here we go. As I mentioned previously, this is where the pit lane is going to go. So I've stuck this bit of foam board in place and I've just painted the black so it sort of blends in a little bit with the track. This is going to be the pit garage floor. I'm going to have it into 4 different sections, I think, but I might play around with that. Going to be a concrete floor, and the sides of the garage are going to be like the carbon grey. So we look at the colours. It never shows up that well, but this sort of grey, I'm going to try and get like a bit of a concrete effect with that for the base. And then the walls, I'm going to slightly lighten this, but it's going to be this sort of carbon grey colour. So I've cut the back section out, but before I stick it down, I'm going to get it painted and I'm going to get the base painted. So I'm going to do these bits painted first. When they're dry, stick the back on, and then I'll work on the side walls. But I want quite a bit of detail going into this if I can, and I want to make it quite bright and not blingy but vibrant. Yeah, good word, vibrant. But I'll show you what I plan to do with that in a minute. So I'm going to crack on with a bit of painting and get the hairdryer out, not to dry my hair but to dry the paint, and then we'll think about getting the back section stuck on. Right, that's the base painted, the garage floor painted it grey, stuck a few little streaky bits in it to resemble scuffs, oil spills and tyre marks. Given this a coat of the darker grey, so that's going to go on the back, and the sides are going to be painted in the same colour as this. So that will be the basic sort of colour scheme of the garage. This is a bit manky, but it's going to have, it's an old piece of foam board that's been used before, but it'll be okay because I'll have a few things stuck on the back and we can hide some of that. So I need to measure and cut. No, I don't. I need to stick this down first. So I'm going to stick the back on. This section here, I've continued with the back on this. So this is going to be like a little tyre store and an oil store area. I think we can get it fenced off around here with some of the bits of fencing that I've got, so we can use that. So right, next job is to stick this bit down, and then I've got to measure out the sides and get them painted and dress them up a little bit. So we'll come on to that next. Right, hot glue gun should be warm now. I'm just going to put the glue on this. It'll be off camera, so amuse yourself for a second. And I've got the glue applied to the back section. I don't know if it's hot enough. This might not. This might dry before I get it on. Well, there's one way to find out. Okay, let's get that put on. Pull it up a little. Got a few strands of glue all over the place, often happens. But if you wait till they dry, they just snap off quite easily. Okay, I think that should be just about stuck. I might have got away with that. One way to find out when I take my hands off. Okay. This glue's like a spider web. It's just really hard to get off. Anyway, okay, that's the back section stuck in place. So now it's time to measure and cut the side sections. So side sections need to be 8 centimeters. So another old scrap of foam board is I'm going to use for this, because I probably need to buy some more. And this is what happened, you know, I went from the having the idea of doing the rally track that never really worked out, and so I wasn't fussed about Foamboard as much. But now we're back onto, well, what will probably predominantly be lots of Foamboard once again. So that's the first bit measured up, so I just need to go in with a sharp blade. And I can't emphasise anyone thinking of using Foamboard in the future, because it's, you know, it is a great product. I might have said that once or twice before. Is to make sure your blade is really sharp, because if it's blunt, it'll just tear. It will tear all the foam out the edge, and you will regret it. So the length of these needs to be, we shall say 16.5. So I'll probably get 2 out of this one, and then I'll go off camera and, what did I say? 16.5, yeah. 16.5. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to get 3 out of this, and then using the grid and the cutting mat, can make sure that it's pretty straight. Hope this isn't boring. I don't often film me actually doing stuff. I normally say this is what I'm going to do, and I'll just go ahead and do it, and then come back and film what I've done. But I think when I watch videos, I tend to like watching the whole process. Now I'm not going to do that because it will go on forever, and I don't like the videos to go on for too long, and I'm sure you don't either. Okay, so that's 3 side sections cut out. I just need to go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, another 2 or 3, can't remember, another 2 I think, and then we'll see how they look. What I'm going to do for the side walls is just to jazz them up a bit, to make them a bit bright and vibrant. So I've printed these out, once again with no help whatsoever from AI. And what I'm going to do is, where I've painted these, I'm just going to cut them down at an angle, and these are going to form the sides. So I've got a few of these to do, so I'm going to go ahead and get all these side sections half painted, get the pictures stuck on, and then we'll see how it looks. But I think it will look quite good. Well, I hope it will look quite good, otherwise I've wasted a lot of time. Right, so these are all stuck on now. It's taken quite a while to do, but I think for the interior, I think it looks quite good really. So I have one there and one there. So you've got the blue, the green, the red, and the yellow. So that's a bit different, isn't it? So I'm going to get these stuck in. I'm going to do the 2 end ones first, and then measure up. So these are equidistant. So right, let's get them stuck on, and then I think we'll pop in for a cup of coffee. Now that's the sides all stuck in place. I think that looks quite good actually. What do you reckon? I think it looks good. So the next thing I'll do, I haven't painted, where are we? Lost the camera. I haven't painted the fronts because I'm just going to put a really thin bit of foam board in front of there to cap them off. So I'll paint those when they're on. So the next thing I'm going to do on this, I mean, I found this piece that was cut out already. This is a perfect shape and size, so I've stuck that there as well and blended in the paint, and we'll do something with that. I don't know what. So I think I need to get the caps, the end caps, cut out, painted, stuck in place, and then I'm going to cut the roof. I think the roof will curve round like this. It'll slightly come out over the top and go over this black section. I want to paint in a yellow line going all the way down here. I might paint paper and then stick it on, because that's worked really well previously, rather than trying to mask this off and paint it. So I think I shall probably do that. But the pit garage is coming together. The other thing I must do is put little slots in here for the guides to go in so the cars sit properly. So I need to do that. But I'm going to wait now till this is all completely dry before I carry on. So time for a coffee, and when I come back I'll get the caps done, get the roof cut out. I've now cut the roof to size. Got a nice little curve going on around here and a little curve there. So roof is cut out. This is a nice little area under here, like I said before, to put spare tyres in, the tyre racks, oil drums, that sort of thing. Now the roof I'm not going to fix down, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to paint it. I'm going to paint the top. I've got it slightly overhanging the front here, but it's just starting to take shape now. I need to connect the lights up, the LED lights, so I'm going to have 4 lights in there, unless I use a strip going all the way across, but I think I'll go for separate individual lights. I think. So I now need to do the front caps, get those done, and I don't know whether to paint the roof. Don't know what colour to do it. Do I do it so it sort of blends in a little bit, so it's a little bit camouflage, or do I have it bright and vibrant? Don't know. But I think the next couple of jobs are going to be just to get the caps done, maybe a cap or something on the side here, and then get the LED stuck to the roof, and then I can see what I'm playing with. The next step is to put on the end caps. So luckily I found a piece that was already painted, an old scrap piece, so I've cut out 5 of these. And what I'm going to do to those, just to jazz them up a little bit, is just pop a no smoking sign on top and a little fire extinguisher. And the fire extinguisher can go down the bottom, and the no smoking sign can go up there somewhere. So this is going to be very fiddly, so I'm going to cut these out, stick them on, and then we'll get them stuck onto the front of the building. Right, that's the end sections done. I mean, ideally I'd like 3-dimensional fire extinguishers, but I think it just gives a general look, doesn't it? I think we're being a little bit too fussy about that. So they're all done. That's been fiddly. It's taken a lot of time. So I'm now going to get them stuck on the front, and we'll see what they look like. Right, that's the front wall caps in place, and I think they look quite good. Like that. The roof isn't stuck down, so ignore the gap, but at some point it will be, once I've got all the lighting done. So yeah, really pleased with that. They look quite sharp. I've painted all the insides of the columns of the caps, so I think it's starting to take shape. So the next thing I want to do is to put a little yellow paint line going all the way across, and I'm going to do that by painting a bit of paper and cutting out strips to run along there. So let me crack on with that. Right, now you can see I've got the lights all fitted inside, which was a little bit fiddly to do, but yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. And I've put in a fire escape door there. You've got the big tool chest, got a couple of those. So this is almost, it's getting towards completion. I think what I'll do is just put a thin strip going all the way around the front of the roof, and then it's time to dig out whatever I've got that's related to a pit garage and get it dressed. I need to cut a slot in, mustn't forget to do that, and we're nearly there. I think, oh God, I think as far as the roof is concerned, I'm just going to give it, because I was going to put some sort of decoration on it, some girders or whatever, or some beams going across. But I think, knowing me, I will end up building something on top of this at some point, so I'll have to take them off anyway. So I think I'm just going to give this a coat of grey, I think, just to tie it all together and just to finish it, because when I come to do something on top at some point, then I can work out the colour scheme from there. But this is nearly done. I'm waiting for the yellow paint to dry so I can put the yellow strip across the front. I'm going to paint this grey, put a front strip on. So I'm going to do all that and we'll come back and then I'll start thinking about dressing it all up. Okay, so I've painted the roof, it looks loads better. Painted the front there, and as you can see I've put some advertising signage above, which I think looks much better. It looks so much better in that colour than the white, I have to say. So we've got the tyre store. I need to get some old tyres to put in the tyre racks. I haven't got around to doing that. I've popped the yellow line in that you can see, and that really works well. It gives a clear definition between. And the lights are all working, and we've got, can we see, mechanics in the pit garage. I need some more mechanics for garage number 2, and I have got some, I think. I just need to paint them, so I need to do that. And these are just a couple of old cars that I never use that we can use just for decoration purposes. So there you go, all lit up. And I do like the way the these LEDs, let me come around here, swing around, the LEDs here actually projects the blue light onto the front. I think it looks really cool. So I'm really pleased with that. It's pretty much what I had in my head. It's nothing radical, you know, it's the same old 4 boxes with a roof, but I think it looks really good. I like it. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little build, the first one of the new layout, with plenty more to come. So I'm going to crack on with the next one in a couple of days, and in the meantime, you all take care, my friends. Bye bye now.